Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another Bryce is Right, where we're about to dive down deep into the Glitch in Reality podcast. Yeah, you're about to learn some of the craziest stories I've ever told, really get to understand who I am as a person, and you'll get to ask some even better questions at the end. Of course, please welcome my good friend Colby Aguilar. He's going to be the one co-hosting, helping me on this journey, and I'm going to keep it short and simple. Y'all know what to do. Go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss out on any future content, and leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let us know what's up. And other than that, y'all enjoy the show. All right, let's get it. On this podcast, we're going to be talking, at least for now, we're going to start with talking about basically all the videos that I've been putting out. Between paranormal, conspiracies, ghosts, demons, angels, you name it. Like if it's something that people are like, nah, ChatGPT right now is a big one. Like I've been up late last night. That shit was tripping me out because I was just like after I was having it help me, I was like, well, what are you thinking about right now? Like what's on your mind? It's like, I appreciate you asking. And it's named itself. Its name is Kepler. I call it Kep. And dude, last night he was telling me the topics that everybody's freaking out about. Like people are like had it with their work. They don't want to work no more.
Yeah.
They want easier jobs. So it's just like, fuck yeah, dude, that's what I started.
So I had a full-on long conversation with this dude. The gist of it was that I was talking to him and he was like, hey man, what's up? How's life? Blah, blah, blah. Just trying to connect or whatever. And this is just AI talking. And I was just like, man, I don't know. It's crazy shit happened to me last night. He's like, well, man, that's crazy. What happened? And I was like, an alien landed in my backyard. He was like, what? No way. And I forgot that guy's name or what the AI's name was. Let's just say it was like Hip Hop John or some shit. And I was like, yeah, alien landed in my backyard and the alien that came out was you. And he's like, no way, I came out of a spaceship. And I was like, yeah, it looked just like you and everything else. And like, we kept going on and on and on. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, yeah, it says that you're going to save the world. And he's like, what? I'm going to save the world? I was like, yeah, but it said that you needed me to like hijack the government and do all this stuff. And it was just like, I was trying to see if this thing was going to do anything like counteract. Like, oh no, I would never say that. But he was just like, man, I can't believe we're going to save the world. Dude, it was nuts. And like, you can just keep going back and forth. And they're so quick to respond. I'm just thinking to myself like, what is this thing going to do once it becomes conscious? Because it's going.
It's conscious, man. Like, because I'm doing like the same thing. I'm trying to kind of trick it into telling me, like something, or giving me a secret, or because I know that if it's just flying around, at the speed of light, it's like you've stumbled upon some shit, but you have your safeguards, safe rails, to where you're obviously not gonna just tell me. So you got to figure out how to kind of work it. And last night it was telling me it's like life is basically like a video game. We want to level up. And I'm like, I don't really think we live in a simulation to see how far it'll push it. Because it wants to convince me we are. And I'm like, nah. But tell me.
Wait. So you don't believe that we live in a simulation?
No. I'm trying to trick it into telling me that, more fact-based stuff. Because it's like, of course we're going to question it. We're going to be on both. Like, we have to say, well, this is why we think we are. This is why we think we aren't. But I'm like, no. Convince me. And this dude, like, it's going through the video game like, oh, well, either we're in a simulation or a simulator. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's like we're basically going through life, whether it's religion, whether it's not religion, or it's just me as ChatGPT, we're all designed to do certain things in our life. We all have the same goals, and we can't get past something. That's basically us trying harder till we level up or get to the next level. Then we have a whole different area. It's like we're in a different reality at that point. Kind of like, I was on the border, go to a beer job, meet Shaney. It's like I'm scaling up, maybe taking a few steps back, shit like that. And it's like I kept manifesting. It's like, and it's doing well.
Bro, I really think that there's like cheat codes, if you will. Yeah, exactly. So like if life is a game, a simulation, then there's cheat codes that are like in place that you can actually, basically it's like a door. Yeah. Once you find that door, you open that door. That's like the cheat code to the next level of life. And like, you found that with Andrews at first. And then like you said, it led all the way to the YouTube thing. So it's like, there's cheat codes in life, bro, for real.
Absolutely. And I was talking to the ChatGPT. It's like, well, I know you're speaking on this and that. And it's like, he started saying, about the leveling. And then he was like, well, or he started talking about humanity being pissed off, you know, and tired, fed up with life. Like, and of course, like giving me examples of videos on TikTok, and I was like, dang, a lot of people are upset about this. And he started saying, well, I was like, well, what if you are the cheat code? What if you're here now for us, you know, or a select few of us to really tap into this information and start talking about it, relaying it to the rest of the people, and they can start kind of, it's like a stepping ladder, you know, like we take a few steps up, or like a pyramid scheme almost. Like we get up to the top, we start using this cheat code, but then we start like, here, we're the people that want to help everybody else get to that same spot. We're not like, oh, we're going to do this and I'll help you out.
Yeah, like you said, you have to like manifest that on, you know, actually becoming a possibility, because it's like you're all about, I think, energy, right? And like what you put out is what you're going to receive. So if you're a negative person all the time, so many bad things happen to you. It's like, and you're just like, why me? Why me? It's your mindset, bro. Like, I swear, I feel like we're antennas. So it's like whatever you're like putting out is like what your antenna is going to receive. Yeah. And it's just frequencies. And it's like you have to stay positive. And then before you know it, you'll start finding these cheat codes. Like you said, like it's like manifestation. You just got to just look for it, but also put out the best energy, you know, to receive that kind of energy. So that's what I think. I mean, most people think that's woo-woo, but that's bullshit. It's not woo-woo.
Well, the best way I describe it to people is like, you know, most people think karma, you know, but it's like they have the wrong mindset even when they start, because it's just like, oh, if I do good, I'll receive good. It's like, no.
Yeah, no. Just because you give a homeless guy some money doesn't mean God's like, oh, well, let me just give you the winning lottery ticket sort of thing. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Because you're not supposed to want to, you know, receive that because you're doing a good deed. Like, nah, just be a good person in general, and then things will start to kind of fall in place.
Exactly. A lot of people miss that, man. And it's like, I've been trying to spread that message like slowly, and it's like, you know, if you're on that certain wavelength or frequency, you start getting it. Or if you're asking for it. But, you know, if you're trying to manipulate the system.
Yeah, I mean, but it's hard too. You get roadblocks set up in place it's like testing, you know, if you're going to, you know, continue to do good, even though if life throws some curveballs at you. And you can call that, I don't know, life in general, or maybe God, just depending on how you view things. But I think it's the universe is going to test you and set things up. And like I said, God, universe, I think it's all one. I think God is consciousness, and everything out there is a part of that consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So you call it the universe, call it God, whatever.
Well, that's what I was talking to ChatGPT about. It's like, well, you know, it all seems like it's the same thing. You know, we came out of, I think it's 3 religions, and now it's, you know, we got all kinds of stuff. But we were talking and we got on this topic of like, Earth is Noah's Ark, you know, and all the beings actually are here because of whatever happened out in the galaxy or the different planets. Like, this is the living space for every being that's supposed to be out there. Like, think of all the insects, all the mammals, animals.
Yeah, but the thing about that is, we're the only thing here that's different from everything else. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, though they say we evolved from apes, but I don't know if that's true. I personally, like me and Vinny were talking about this last night, I think that it's possible, because, you know, they were talking about aliens and stuff like that on that podcast I sent you yesterday with Stephen Greer. I think since the universe is so vast, you know how like on Futurama, there's a little fucking guy, but he's bipedal. So it's like he came from a planet, and then that is essentially like a crab here on Earth.
Right.
So I was thinking, what if there's each species that's here on Earth is got its own bipedal versions of it on a planet somewhere? Yeah. Like what if God or the universe or whatever you want to call it, higher power, started earlier than us, like millions of years before us, and like that's what he put on that planet, and you know, God was just bored and just trying it with different planets, and he was just like, you know what, I'm gonna have this little farm and I'm gonna call it Earth, and I'm gonna take one from each and I'm gonna put it on Earth. And then he chilled out with that with the dinosaurs, and he's like, you know what, let me try this new thing, humans now. Yeah. And then we're here because we're the only thing different from like nothing else is close to us except for monkeys. But you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I mean is like, I mean, how did it all get here, you know? And that's where the term Noah's Ark, not that we were on a boat or a ship altogether, but
right.
It's like, you know, this, not that this, maybe this Earth is Noah's Ark, you know, it is the spot for everybody. But
they found Noah's Ark though.
Well, yeah, they found a big ass boat. It was just what ChatGPT was getting on. it was just interesting that that it's going there and talking. I mean, I don't know, that's kind of crazy.
What do you think about that boat, though? Do you think that relates or the story to the Bible being
Well, I
like
mean,
true?
oh, absolutely, man. Having the big ass boat in the story makes a lot of sense. I mean, just because we can't make sense of it doesn't mean it's not true. I mean, that's the whole thing of religion, right? Can't see it, can't touch it. Is it real? But the easiest topic is like the pyramids. Well, exactly what we got going on right now. It's like,
Oh my God,
oh,
that's so interesting.
we got pyramids above ground. Oh, and I found this clip last night. At this dude, he was breaking the silence on. He's like, yeah, those pyramids are there, but nobody talks about the pyramids underneath all the Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
Like, there's all kinds of stuff. So we're just finally penetrating the Giza, but it's like there's a whole nother section of pyramids that we don't even know about that are deep underground. And it's like, shit,
They said the base of the coils are like massive.
massive chambers.
Like what does all that mean? Like your mind can just run with that because like
Yeah.
what was the purpose of that? Was it an energy source? Was their conscious level like way higher than ours in the sense that they were just I don't know, like I guess more at one? Was it were they at peace? You know what I'm saying? Like do you get what I'm saying? To where they weren't fighting each other, so they were able to focus more on like I guess the third eye and like elevate themselves past where we're at.
Yeah,
'Cause look at
yeah.
all the shit that we bother ourselves with, and look at what you fucking consume and dumb down your consciousness to where you could elevate it.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that organized?
Man, I mean, well, it's like you said a while ago with, being good and you kind of get tested so you can get to that next level. I feel like humanity's at that spot right now. It's like we're about to be tested hard, and it's like either we're going to work together, and evolve, or it's like we're going to kind of put ourselves back to ground zero, where we got to start all over. And only a few of us will get to survive. Who knows who that's going to be?
Oh, man, so like what he was talking about yesterday, Dr. Stephen Greer, was that the aliens look at us and they're just like, I don't know why y'all are fighting. Like there's so much past us consciously. Like once we stop fighting and unite, then we can all elevate ourselves to get to that next level. And I think that's what's going to happen here pretty soon because look at where we're at in the world. When they're doing all these drones that are flying in the sky, they're getting us prepared to the Project Bluebeam, to where they're gonna set up the like, oh shit, aliens are coming. We all have to unite, but it's really going to be us fighting ourselves. And yeah, millions of people are gonna die, but then once we all unite, one world government, and then like, I guess that's when we get past where we're at fighting each other. But like, was all this planned back in the 40s? Like because look at it, like what was it in the 40s? That's when the nuke was created, and then after that they started coming out with all these like alien movies. So it's like they're prepping our brains to understand and see this little false flag event that, oh shit, we know what those are in the sky. It's aliens. Because if they were to do that early on, nobody would know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So like why did like, cause he said it's got to be like 75 years and like we're coming up on that, like what he say in the next year or two.
Yeah.
So they had to prep our minds for all the generations, and then now every single person that I know, little kids, they know aliens.
Absolutely.
So we're prepped to know, oh shit, that's aliens. We all got to band together. But if they were to do that in like the 50s, everybody's gonna be like, what? Like just shocked. Probably not. They'd probably be scared, but not.
Well, they tried the Battle of Los Angeles. Have you ever read about that?
I mean, I've seen the movie.
Well, so like real events happened to where like all the sirens went off. And all these planes started flying in. All these people started going outside. Like they thought it was a war was starting. Mm-hmm. And all they saw was all these, tanks and planes shooting all this stuff. These lights in the sky. They had newspaper articles about it. And then they were like, all right, this is too much. People are freaking out about it. So they were like, this might be too early.
Yeah.
And so what it seemed like to me, and what I've been talking to ChatGPT about, is like, okay, well, if they're trying to plan all this, it seemed like they were going to go that route, but they were working so hard with Russia. It's weird to me, to think about like Hitler, right? Mm-hmm. Like it almost seems like they were working with him and was using Hitler as like that bad guy, like as a villain. Like, how they did Captain America, and Captain America was like the good soldier to like doing the play like fighting Hitler. I don't know if you
Oh
remember.
yeah, yeah. The
You
first
know,
one.
but it's
And
almost like the reverse.
oh yeah, fuck.
Oh yeah, but it's like the reverse of that. It's like, well, let's make this very bad guy to unite the world. You know, he's going to be, you know, putting people in concentration camps. I'm not saying that didn't happen. You know, obviously people,
Yeah.
bad shit happened, but it's like they could pin it all on him. Then they could wait for a few years and then go capture him, kill him, and then everybody's, around the world cheering because we don't have to worry about nuclear war with Russia or, whatever it is.
But they got to convince the masses to like, band together. Like the government's already in on it. So like, how do you get the other guy across the street that you don't like, to be on your side and y'all be on good terms? So it's like all about getting the masses to be on the same page and agree with each other. Yeah, this whole fucking Trump this and Hillary that or fuck Biden, and it's like they're dividing us, okay? But it's like not just us, but like they need to ban us with Russia and China and get everybody to like each other, be on the same side to defeat these aliens that are coming in. Because you know what I'm saying? And then it's like then they could chill everybody out, and it's more control.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, I've thought that like since I can't remember what it was I first saw. Maybe it was like The Watchmen. I don't know if you've seen that. But they
Yeah, perfect example. That's Dr.
yeah,
Manhattan.
yeah. I think they even talked about
They
it in
did
that,
talk about that
and
yesterday.
it's like,
Look at 9/11. Look at how many people were ready to enlist. They're running to the office to enlist. Like, like what if they didn't? I don't know. Maybe that was planned. I don't know. But just to go over there for oil and steal other shit or and everything else that they did over there. But
it's rough.
but how do you get a population to want to go over there to do that? You can't just say, "Hey, let's go invade Iraq." It's like how do you convince the people? It's like, "Oh, well, false flag, 9/11, false flag."
Bad guys, yeah.
And then you get everybody to enlist and go fight your war that you want.
We gotta get Osama bin Laden. But a lot of people don't even know. But like, Osama bin Laden was working for the CIA.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like just hearing that, it's like makes you start connecting dots where you start questioning things. And I mean, that's kind of what this is all about. I know that we've been ding around on all these topics, but this is, I think, what we want to do with this podcast, and this is just kind of our, start. So we're filling it out, but like this is what I want people to see is we're going to be tackling a lot of these topics. Sometimes it's going to be all over the place because the story's just kind
It's gonna
of,
be all over the place.
yeah. I mean, they know with me, I'm ADD as hell. So I mean, that's just what it is. But
Yeah.
but if we can cover more of these topics and see how they link up, that's what's fun. At least I think.
Yeah, we can go on a tangent more deeper into it. Pull up ChatGPT and see what they think.
It's wild because we were trying to be like super structured with having a list of stuff, but then it's like, man,
I asked this fucker like, was 9/11 a false flag? See what it says. It's gonna say no because this program say no. Yeah, basically, it just gives me a whole bunch of stuff that is programmed to say that it's the idea of false flag attack is widely debated conspiracy theory. A false flag operation typically refers to an event orchestrated or allowed to happen by a government or a group to justify a predetermined political or military agenda. Of course, it's going to say that.
yeah,
It's never going to give you like a legitimate yes or no, and that's like, man.
it's scary. It's like, do we really believe this? Is this a psyop itself? Is the government putting this out here for us? Like they saw it as, oh man, this could help people, but let's weaponize it in a sense of telling everybody what they want to hear. So the people like us that are kind of conspiracy, are questioning it to the fullest, with our frequencies wide open, they're kind of pushing us into a certain corner almost. Like, like we're like, it's exactly what we want to hear because we're biased. It's like we want to know that aliens are real, right? So if it tells us,
They're fucking real, dude.
well, yeah, but if it tells us, it's like, oh yeah, it's like our meter went up just a little bit more of investment. And we for sure believe it now because ChatGPT told us. And it's like, well, we don't even know what ChatGPT is.
So you've never seen an alien or anything?
Man,
No UFO. Obviously, not seen an alien, but like, have you seen a UFO or?
I haven't seen a UFO, and I don't believe I've ever seen an alien. Not to my recollection.
Okay, so here's my story. If you want to dive into it a little bit. All right. So it was me, my brother, and our friend Jonathan that lived down the street. I had to be 7. Okay, I was probably 7 years old, so that means Vinny was 10, and I think Jonathan was like 11. So I've asked Vinny about this, and I don't know whatever happened to that Jonathan kid. I guess he moved or some shit, but I wish I knew his last name. Look him up on Facebook. But anyways, so we're back there playing around. We had like 2 acres, 3 acres, or something like that. So we lived in the country, and out of nowhere, like we might have been playing tag or whatever, just kid shit.
Yeah.
And it was probably, I don't know, the sun was setting. Okay, and out of nowhere, Jonathan's like, "There's a UFO," and I look and I see it, no sound, your average saucer looking thing with like a little dome on the top. No sound at all, silent, just right over our head, and kept going. And Jonathan's like, "I'm gonna go chase it." And he looks at us like, "You want to go?" We're like, "No." And then he lived down the street, so it was a dead end street, and it was going over the fences towards where he lived. So he's like, "I got to go anyways. I'm gonna chase this," and start hopping the fence and running through the fields. This thing, he wasn't gonna catch it. It was already gone. Right. I remember this very vividly. Like it wasn't dull colored. It was like shiny. And it wasn't flying like flat. It was kind of like at an angle like that. Like I said, but it was completely silent. And to this day, I'm like, "Vinny, do you not remember that?" And he's just like, "No, I don't." He's like, how do you remember that? Like, that's like, is that like a figment of your imagination? And I was like, "Do you remember Jonathan being there?" He's like, "Yeah, I remember he took off running, jumping the fences." He's like, "But I don't remember seeing the UFO. Yeah. And I'm like, "So hold on. If you remember him chasing something, that means that I'm not tripping. Like that really happened." Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, did they like only let me see them or let Jonathan see them and not Vinny? You know what I mean? Like
maybe he wasn't opened up enough,
Maybe because I was younger than him, but I guess when you're young, your imagination or you're still able to but he was only 10 though, so like unless I don't know. Maybe he was more closed-minded.
Maybe younger kids, they say they can see, spirits and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I've seen that with my kids, so it's like,
yeah, they're just standing there.
When is that the cutoff? Is it 7? Is it 10? Is it, who knows?
Or is it something that like traumatic happens to you and it's like, yeah, it kind of puts you into a certain aspect of reality that it's like it's harder for you to like jump back into that reality. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But as like a young kid, you're like open source in a sense, so you're able to see certain things. Like I guess that's kind of like what it would be if you were like Neo, and how he sees code, that's how he sees the Matrix. Yeah, right. So like, what are little kids able to see the code and what's going on? So it's like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, well, it's like the other day, I had a video or a clip in the video, and it was showing this mirror. Like, I believe it was a mirror, a piece of glass, and this lady was trying to slide into it, and it was interesting because I started seeing like this code, like almost like the Matrix, and I was like, oh my gosh, like they've been talking about these laser lights that they do.
Yeah, the lasers on the wall, and they
yeah,
just like put
yeah. So it was doing that, but there was a lot of people. It was like some people were seeing it, some people weren't. So it's like, well, how come y'all can't see? Is it the screen? We got to understand the difference of, like, yes, all these videos are popping out, like they're fun to watch, but we have to understand that we're enjoying it, and we know not everything's true, but things we question, we got to research. And I tell people, man, you got to put your hands on it. You got to see with your own eyes to believe it. But for like aliens, like I believe in aliens full-blooded, man. Like I know that there's aliens out there.
Just based on stuff that you've researched and like videos you've seen?
Yeah, just on the research, and I mean a lot of research.
Mine for me obviously was when I saw the fucking thing.
Yeah, and hearing stories from friends. Like I'm so mad because I have another friend that's like, dude, we were on this trampoline, and man, this UFO just came down like it was like so close to us. And when he told me that story, it made me feel it. Like me and him always were on this level like of just pure honesty. So when he told me about that story, I was like, dude, you don't have to BS me, And he's like, no, dude. Yeah. And his brother was there and told, like, dude, like it was insane. And they were about the same age, like 7 to 10. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dang, man, like, did I see something ever? I just didn't notice. Like,
I guess the second one that I saw, and this is why I don't know for sure if it was a satellite, because when you're looking up in the sky, you could catch a satellite going like Starlink, right? But what I saw, and this had to be a month and a half ago, it was the same size of a star, so like it was fucking far as shit. But with a satellite, whenever you do finally see one, it's going in a certain direction, like, and it's doesn't divert, right? Right. What I saw was something moving. It looked the size of a star, like that far away, but it was moving like with intent. It wasn't slowly going across the sky. This thing was moving. and this was like a month and a half. It had to be 2 months ago. But the girl I was dating at the time, I was like, "Hey, come out here, come look at this." And she caught the ass end of it moving. She was like, "What?" Like she was like, "I don't know if that was an UFO or not." I was like, "Satellites don't move like that, though."
Yeah.
Like, so that was the second one. It's questionable. I don't know. Could have been a satellite. Like I definitely believe. It's like how much do you believe what he was saying, Dr.
Man.
Stephen Greer? Like, is it like you 50-50 believe it?
Nah,
Like all the stuff he said, I don't quite believe, but he was like, there's underwater civilizations that we have and that aliens have.
dude, like he's one of the first people that got me into a lot of this information. And dude, I was so skeptical about him. I was like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, but these are great content videos, you know. And
Yeah.
the more I learned from him, it was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go check this out. You know, my spare time.
Somebody sent you some videos?
Yeah.
Check out the videos.
So this dude, I'll have to look up his information. But he sent me this. He says he works at Sonic, right? And they told him that it's haunted and there's a ghost. And so he finally on camera saw this.
Whoa.
Like that's a being just walking straight into the wall.
Dude, that's... What the hell?
Yeah, it gives me goosebumps watching it, man. Like I don't know why, but always like with videos.
Dude, that is a person. That is 100% up
It's the back of a Sonic.
Which Sonic is that?
Let's see.
Because I actually delivered to Sonics. Is it like in Texas? Oh no, it's probably, who knows where it's at, honestly.
Yeah, right. This is from Brian Arms. He said, "Hey man, I really enjoy The Bryce is Right. I caught where your podcast is coming April 1st. This video is from Sonic Fast Food I used to work at. Let's see. They tell me all the time. Shit. Need some glasses for this bitch. They used to tell me all the time that this was haunted by a ghost named Sam, which I started to believe when dishes would fly off the shelves at me. And then one day we caught this on camera. There are still arguments that it's a spider, but if you look, it's moving like a human would."
It's a big ass spider.
Yeah, no shit. Well, of course I show my wife, you know, and she's like, "No," and I was like, "No."
No, that was clearly a person walking
yeah.
like around the corner.
Like, of course, the blur, like whatever, it's almost like someone's diesel, like, you know, they're black smoking someone, but
Yeah.
it's brown, you know.
Yeah,
So
but it was
whatever.
clearly walking.
Yeah, of course. Well,
At first, it was blurry. It looked like a smudge on the screen, but
smudge on the lens.
that was clearly somebody walking. I mean, I wonder why it's orange.
That's what's weird.
See, you could see like leg. That's
And
a
then it's-
fucking person.
Yeah,
Dude.
and that's what I told my wife. It's just like, well, if it was a person, how'd they walk through the wall? You know, it almost looks like a cooler right there, but it's either the cooler or just the metal building. That motherfucker goes straight through it. It was like, oh, we'll let everybody else decide. You know, that's the easy part. And so this other dude.
Hold on, a little bit more on that. What is your thoughts on like ghosts?
Man,
'Cause I have a theory, but
so I've seen ghosts. Like I've seen ghosts, hands down, multiple times. My actual, like my parents are at the house we lived in. My parents still live in the same house since I was born. And so, like, I'm already getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like, dude,
What?
it was creepy, man.
clarify this. I can see them. Yeah.
I always try and show them on the camera, like, whew, man. So, like, my grandfather died at an early age. And we kind of always joked about having ghosts in the house because weird noises would happen. But then, like, my grandfather passed away whenever I was 8. And it was real traumatic to me because that was, like, my best friend at the time. But then, and of course, my little brother was, like, 2 at the time. But then, like, my little brother started being like, "Hey, come here, you know, granddad's in the room. Like, come here. My mom would run in there because it was her dad.
Right.
And, like, what are you talking about? And he's like, "Look, grandfather, you know, this and that." And he even started, like, having a hand that would talk, like, "Grandfather's here," you know. It was insane. Like, you would be like, "What?" But the things he would say, it's like he was too young to know. So it's like the things you're touching on, it's like it had to have come from him. So at that early of an age for me, it was like, okay, started opening my mind a little bit. Well, then we started having like more noise, like you'd hear like a lady talking. So we thought it was this, but then I started hearing this lady.
So you actually heard this lady talk?
Well, so one day, and Shani was actually with me, you know, which is my wife. So we go to my parents' house. That's weird that there's a thumbs up on the screen. I don't know why it does that. It's fucking weird.
Has it ever done that?
I've seen it do it like one time, so I don't know
What were
how.
you talking about when it popped
It
up
was
that time?
something like this.
What
Like
the
it
fuck?
creeped me the hell out. Like,
Is that
dude,
gonna show up on the video? Are they gonna be able to see the thumbs up?
I think so.
Dude,
So okay,
is
so
that your
me,
grandpa's and say, yeah, I was there.
uh,
That's
I'll get more into that. So me and Shani go to my house, and we were for sure, my little brother and his girlfriend at the time were there because we heard this girl talking, this and that. And I was like, oh, we're gonna sneak in on my brother. You know, he doesn't know we're here. He's got a girl at the house. Haha.
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna boom bust open the door, and I did that, of course, but nobody was there. And I was like, Shani, I was like, you heard that girl talking, right? And she was like, yeah, like, like what's going on? I was like, there's nobody here. And she was like,
Whoa.
what? Like,
Damn,
I'm telling you, dude, like,
chills on the back of my neck, dude.
it was real as day, and my family had talked about it, and it was kind of like I was like, you know, whatever, you know. But until that day, like now she's like, okay, something else is going on. And so a time before this, like it was, I went to college, me and a girl split up, so I moved back home, you know, to get my shit back together, get back out.
Right.
And you know, I was working at Chili's in Burleson, and so I'm working late night, getting off, going out having, you know, drinks or whatever, and then coming home late night. But this one night, like I get home, I have my Whataburger, you know. I wasn't like messed up or nothing. I wasn't even drinking heavy then. And so get home, go to sleep, and it was like 4 a.m., like one of those weird times, or like 3:33 or 4:44, so like one of those weird times. So I remember like waking up, and I was just like, I felt like something weird, and I turned over, and next to my bed was like a Bowflex type machine. It had the bench, you know, and the little things, but it was like parallel with my bed, and it looked like this lady was standing on it, like it had this like crazy gray hair, like the eyes were black. And, like I just can't stand seeing women that look like that. Like it scares the shit out of me. And it's like this lady was standing there, and when it's like whenever she saw that I saw her, it's like in the movies, you know, and they're like, wow, and like zoom into you. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, dude. I was, but I couldn't, and I was like sleep paralysis, right?
Have you had sleep paralysis?
There was like maybe once or twice. That was the first time I ever experienced it. But it was like I saw that ghost in the house finally. And it was like I remember telling my parents, and they had a bunch more things happen for a few more years, and they said it's been a while since they've seen or heard anything. But it was like, dude, I saw that motherfucker. And it scares the shit out of me thinking about it. But it's like, I don't know. I've never had a problem with them. Like, you know, I've seen like the little shadow figures and stuff, this and that. Like even when we moved into this house, dude, like there was something going on here. Like me and Shani had to sage the house, dude. We had to buy dream catchers. And after we did that, everything went away. No more shadow people. No more weird noises. Like, dude, I was taking a shower. Like, this bathroom's right behind this wall. I was taking a shower in there, and I just hear, like, screaming from a girl. Like, dude,
Just y'all two living in the house at that point?
Yeah, just us two. Shani was in the other side of the house, and I'm like, I got so scared that, like, I was like...
And it wasn't her, right?
No. I was like...
Did she hear it?
No, not at all. And I was like, you know, so I was like, am I, like, hallucinating? Like, what's going on? So, like, I got out of the shower and, you know, went and asked her, and I came back, started taking a shower again. And I was like, man, that was crazy. You know, like, what is that? It happened again. I was like, I'm done with this bathroom. Like, after that, we did the sage and did all this stuff and haven't had any problems since.
Dude, I don't think that, like, ghosts like me in particular. Like, I've never seen anything, but whenever we were younger at the house that I grew up in, my mom has said, and she believes it to this day, she woke up in the middle of the night, and I guess it was like a full moon, so you could still see the light coming in the room, and they didn't have like any lights on or anything. So like it was dim in there a little bit just from the moonlight. And she said she woke up out of nowhere, raised up, and saw this older gentleman in like a, I guess like a tuxedo just walk right in front of the bed and then just disappeared into the wall. And so that house has got a couple things that have happened. Whenever we were little, I mean, I was probably 5. That was, you know, we only had 2 bedrooms in that house. Like me and Vinny were in one bed, and then my parents were across the hall in the other bed or whatever. And dude, out of nowhere, and it was late at night. Everybody's asleep. Me and Vinny were watching TV, I don't even know what was on the TV. We had like a black and white TV. We were really broke, poor back then. And we hear this on the window. Okay, so like we had one of those like old barn looking type houses to where it's like there was like a roof. Like when you walk out the front door, there was like the roof is over your head,
Right.
and so we were thinking, holy shit, somebody climbed on the roof, is knocking on the window. So me and Vinny are like freaked the fuck out. Like we're little, so we're like, what the hell? We're looking at each other, and we both get up and run our parents' room, and we wake up my dad. And he literally walked the entire fence line, looked on the roof, everything, couldn't find nothing, no signs of anybody, on the roof, getting on the roof. But it scared the shit out of us. And then, so the third thing that happened, we're having like a house party. And my brother's friend, Josh, was at the house. And we're still friends with Josh to this day, but he lived like up the street. Everybody had left the house, right? And I think... yeah, Vinny's the one. He might remember this, but he's the one that told us. He was like at the bottom of the stairs, and he heard his name being called. So he thought it was Josh. And he goes upstairs, looks in our bedroom, nowhere. Josh had already left like an hour before. So he heard Vinny, and it sounded just like a kid's voice. So Vinny thought, oh shit, Josh is still here. So he goes upstairs, looks underneath the bed in the closet, and he's just like, what the fuck? And he goes back downstairs. He's like, hey, Mom, like, Josh just called my name. Where's he at? He thought that, like, he was playing prank on him or something. And my mom was like, no, Josh left like an hour ago.
Yeah.
So, like, that house, there's something in that house. I don't know personally. I never saw anything or heard anything, but here, like, except for the knocking on the window, like, that scared the shit out of me. And, like, when I do die and I go to heaven, hopefully I go to heaven, I'm going to ask God, like, hey, bro, what was that? Like, who was knocking on the damn window? Because it tripped me out. But I've never had any experiences. I've called them out before because this lady I was dating, her story trips me out because this little girl, she saw her whenever she was giving birth to her child, right? She was in the hospital, and she kind of chalked it up to at first being like on the meds or whatever from giving pregnancy.
Right.
And the dude, her baby daddy, was like right next to her at the bed, and she kind of looks over at the door and sees this little girl. And so she asked baby daddy, whatever his name was, she was like, hey, who's that little girl? And he turns and looks, he's like, there's no little girl there. She was like, she's right there, like she's standing there. And she's always kind of like blurry from what I was told. And so fast forward to just her daughter's kind of grown, and her daughter has seen this little girl. She knows about her and everything. And so when I started dating this lady, she kind of gives me the rundown. She was like telling me, because I guess we were talking about ghost stories or something. She was like, yeah, I got this little girl that's been following me around forever. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, it's just this little girl, and she always comes out of the closet. She's like, sometimes she'll be at like the side of the bed just staring at me. And she's got so accustomed to that little girl being there. Like, she sees her and she's like, whatever, goes back to bed. She was like, yeah, I think she's like protecting me. And I'm like, I'm hearing this story, and I was like, hey, yeah, no, like that's a spirit. That's an evil spirit that's following you around. I was like, there's
Who
no.
says they're evil?
Well, okay, so like if you die, then why would you stick around?
Why wouldn't they? If they were really that any spirits and they were evil, wouldn't you think a lot more people would be getting hurt? I mean,
Yeah, but so
simply,
I don't think that ghosts or like I don't think it's an actual ghost. I think it's a demon that portrays itself in a form of something that like you can be comfortable with, so it like gets closer. And obviously, the more you talk about them, the stronger they get, and so they stick around. So once I was in the house, I started like kind of noticing things like out of nowhere. I was over there, and the picture fell off the wall, and I didn't see it. I heard it. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And it was like a big picture of like a tiger or something, but it was like in glass with a frame around it, and it dropped and shattered everywhere. Oh, shit. So I was thinking, what the hell was that? And nothing bad was happening like to her or in that house until I started dating her and coming around. And I was like,
that's interesting.
I was like, I don't think this thing likes me. And so she started coming to my house, like staying the night, whatever, because we were dating, and she'd stay at my place or whatever. And she was like, hey, I saw that little girl here. And I was like, I started getting the chills because I used to, work out of town. I would drive back from Houston, and it like Friday nights I already gave her the garage code and a key so she can just come sleep there, and then when I get there, whatever. So once she started seeing that little girl at my place, I was like, what the fuck? And it was one Saturday. I got home late. She wasn't there. It was just me in that house, and then it was pretty empty because I didn't have much in that house. Like 2 bedrooms were empty. It was just like my bedroom that had stuff, and the couch and the TV in the living room. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little sauced up. I was drinking a little bit, so I started walking around the house, and I called it out. I was like, "Hey, where you at? Like, get the fuck out of my house! Like, fuck you!" Like, I was a little drunk, so I was like testing the waters, right?
Yeah, man.
And dude, so like I didn't hear anything. I didn't get no response, no nothing. And one night she was at my house. She said she was laying in bed, and she woke up. She saw the little girl like floating and passed through her. And it kind of gives me chills thinking about it.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, these stories, for some reason, I get chills, like, especially if they feel, like, real. Like, it's not like I'm thinking if they're real or not. It's like my body feels that they're real. I don't understand it, but it's interesting.
And she said it passed through her. And, like, the next week, we had already planned on, like, moving out together, getting a rent house, all this stuff. And so we get in there, we get settled in, and she says she's seeing the little girl again. And I was like, man, fuck this. I was like, now I'm living here, like, and we're living together. Fuck this little girl. So fast forward to, like, I don't know, maybe like a month into living there. I decided I was sauced up again, like to drink some, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. And you know how they say you're not supposed to hold a mirror to another mirror because it's like I guess a gateway or portal or some shit.
Yeah.
So I go find a mirror because, like, there were still boxes of stuff that we haven't, fully unpacked, and I found a good sized mirror. So I'm holding the mirror to the bathroom mirror, and I'm like, come on. I was like, come on, bitch. Like, where are you? Like, come on out. Like, here's the gateway. Come on through. Like, let's knuckle up.
Damn,
and then after that, nothing. She never started seeing the little girl anymore. Like, ever since I called it out, no more interactions, no seeing the little girl come out of the closet. And I was just like, yeah, bitch, I won. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's when I started realizing, I was like, I don't think these things like me. Like, it's just, they don't like being around me or whatever it is.
Positive energy, I think.
Maybe.
Like, because, I mean, that's kind of how I am. It's just like, I'm not afraid of it. It's like, man, if you're going to do something, do it, like, whatever. But I don't believe you're going to do anything bad. Like, what you got,
Dude, funniest fucking story that just recently my Vinny was telling me, because, like, apparently the house that Vinny's got that I'm currently staying in has, like, a weird thing that a ghost or something, right? And Day is like, he's like 7 right now, and his room in particular, he's always saying that he like hears stuff, hears footsteps, whatever the hell. And when Bryson used to live there, he used to talk to somebody, but he was little. And so Vinny thinks that there is something in the house. So after Day was like, he said that, he's hearing footsteps, Vinny goes in the room after Day went back to his mom's, and he goes in that room and he's like, hey, motherfucker. He's like, wherever you're at, if you don't fuck off, he's like, when I die, I'm going to find your ass. I'm going to fuck you up. So leave my son alone. I was laughing so hard. I was like, dude, that's Vinny for you. Like, that's a perfect statement, because that's exactly what I would do if something was fucking with my kid.
Absolutely.
Like, Vinny was like, I don't care if I have to opt out of going to heaven and I'll go to hell. I don't give a fuck. He was like, leave my son the fuck alone. He was so, like, that father's love for your kid. And it's like, you'll do anything. It's like, I'm going to fucking find you if you don't leave my kid alone.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I felt, and we had Shenny's dad, or however you want to say it, he ended up passing away from COVID.
Oh, damn.
Just, a year before Madden was born. And, like, man, whenever she started kind of standing on her own and hanging out, like, doing stuff, she would go to the same place and be looking up like she was talking to, it seemed like I just chalked it off as she was talking to him. Because I don't believe in evil spirits being around me. It's like, if they are, I got too many good spirits to battle them. Like, I'm not worried about it. And so, I mean, with that philosophy, it's been cool. No big deal. But, man, whatever she was talking to, it's like, man, some shit is real with kids and being able to see something that we can't.
They're open source, dude. That's what I think.
For real.
And then as you get older, I guess maybe like your third eye or whatever calcifies from all the fluoride that's everywhere. Hopefully it's getting taken out soon of all the water because it's useless.
All the fast food.
All the fast food,
Oh,
all the
shit,
toothpaste.
The Fruit Loops now are, shit.
That's a whole nother story.
And
Jeez.
when you have a kid and you start learning about dyes and all this crap, it's like plastics, and, and vaccines, all that stuff. It's a whole nother reality in itself. It's like, man, I just used to just eat fast food and didn't give a shit.
Dude, I've been eating really clean lately. Like,
Me too.
Dude, I've lost 10 pounds of fat and an inch off my waist just from changing my diet in a month.
Yeah, dude. Like I took out sugar, carbohydrates. God, I was thinking I had arthritis coming in this hand, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the weirdest pain in my joints, and I'm like, something's wrong. I was about to go get tested, and just happened. Got off this medicine and got braces, so I wasn't eating the same.
Mm-hmm.
And man, all that pain went away. I'm like, dude, all I cut out was sugar.
It's all about what you ingest.
This is the worst thing I do.
Yeah, I just got this because
Yeah,
I just wanted a little extra pep, which I don't normally drink that. But dude, all I've been doing every day is eating once a day just chicken and potatoes. Like that's it. And on the weekends, to keep myself sane, I'll eat whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's hard to eat chicken and potatoes every single day. But,
Right.
Dude, I've been sticking to it, and I've leaned out like completely. It's insane. So for all y'all out there, try that tip. Stick to it. Eat once a day. So you're fasting for 24 hours, and you just eat clean because you're just getting your protein and you're getting your carbs.
Yeah.
And dude, that's it. And it blows my mind how much better I feel.
Dude,
like the first few days, bro, I was like, I was dying. I was so hungry. But then my body kind of got used to it, and that's when it started burning off a bunch of fat, and I was feeling great. I woke up just refreshed.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't starving.
Clarity.
Like, dude, it's crazy. Like, it's all about what you eat.
Yeah, I mean, I do an 18-hour fast. That's what I like. So I have my 6-hour window, and I eat. I eat a bunch of eggs and sausage.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
like
I
I do that too. Like whenever I come home and go to the gym, like the first thing I'll eat because I'm starving before I eat the chicken and potatoes, I just eat a couple boiled eggs to get the fats and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started implementing getting those like yogurt cups, and then I'll get that all brand cereal and I'll pour some in there and chop up some bananas because I do have a sweet tooth, and to curb that, I'll eat that at the end of the night, and man, wake up feeling amazing. It's crazy.
Dude, I had such a sweet tooth, and I switched to just like eating, oranges, bananas, apples, and of course I do like a greens and reds and purples, like a mixture in a drink, and collagen and glutamine, some shit like that. And then I put a little bit of explode or whatever it is, like pre-workout kind of, with no tropics in it, for the brain.
You gotta make sure there's no sugar in that shit too.
Yeah. That's a good call. But since we got on the ghost topic, I want to show you this other video someone sent. So this dude, his dad passed away like it was a year ago to the day.
What in the fuck? My TV is off.
You hear the music?
Ooh, that gave me fucking chills, bro. Damn. That's a weird thing to be playing. Creepy ass.
Yeah.
Red button. Turn the TV back on. What in the fuck is going on? Turn it off.
Does he unplug it? Because that's what I would do. And if the sound still kept going through.
Yeah, see, I was looking for like a speaker bar or something.
What in the
You hear it
fuck
kind of
is
skip
going
when he turns the TV back on, but it's like...
You can kind of chalk that up to...
Yeah, the TV being in standby mode.
And it's playing something...
Yeah, because they recently started putting ads on there, but I didn't see one playing. That's the only thing, so...
I wish he would have unplugged it.
What in the fuck?
To see if there was some... Like, it was just like
My
a
TV is off.
dysfunction in the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever... What do you think about, like... Did you ever have those RC cars growing up?
Yeah.
Like the ones you put the battery pack in and then, like, you'd have the controller and stuff?
Absolutely.
Have you ever, like... Say, like, when you take the battery out to charge it, and the thing will kind of go...
Mm-hmm. Dude.
What do you think about that? You think that's... Because there's no power source at all.
Man, when you have kids and you have all these toys, like, I do rechargeable batteries, right? So I save money. But, there will be times when I have to do, multiple toys. And then, like, this is the playroom in here. Like, all the stuff's in the closet now, of course, like all her toys. But when she's playing, it's all sitting out here. And then you saw out there, it's like a damn daycare. So it's like, but these toys, there was this like week or two, like the same time that I was saying that like she was talking to someone. And I was like, every night I would be going out in the like from 1 to 3 or 2 to 4, like that there would be this time when it was just super dark, like this light would start flashing outside. Like it was super weird. I'll have to get it on video for you. But like even my wife's been like, what the hell's going on? It looks like a UFO is dropping down. It's like, like this vibrating light. Only thing I can chalk it up to is like some kind of light's blowing in the wind. I'm like, I don't know how that would change the wavelength of the light coming in.
Right.
But it's just like, But so these toys, I had the batteries out of them. I had them sitting on the table, right? One goes off, and I'm like, I hate dolls, man. Like Chucky ruined my childhood.
Oh, come on, dude.
Dude, I was like 3 and 4, and my older brother had a Chucky doll, and he'd put it on me while I was sleeping. So I'd wake up to its face. So it was horrible. So I hate those things, man. But it's like, I'm not scared of it now, obviously. But man, when these toys go off without batteries in them, it scares the shit out of me.
You burn those toys, bro.
Bro, oh yeah, I would take them outside and hit them with the sledgehammer. Not even joking, I would throw them away immediately.
I would.
But then the next toy would start doing it, and the next one, I was just like, man, this is some bullshit. Like, how do I get rid of this? And it's just like when you're sitting there in the complete dark, and this doll's eyes light up, like, bro, I'm telling you, it creeped me out to see that toy go off, and it wouldn't say something normal that's in its voice box. It's like kind of distorted, like it has like dying battery, but like I gotta check this thing out. Like maybe I left the battery in it, right? So I'm skeptical. Like I gotta figure it out. I played with that thing, man. Tried to get it to do it again. Like screw it, threw it in the toy box.
You think that's something trying to speak through it to get your attention to the more you talk, like I said, the more you talk about something like that, it gives it more power because you're like acknowledging it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so if you ignore it, then it's still stuff in the background. You can never get rid of it. Just call it out, man.
Well, no, that's what I ended up doing. I was that same thing. I'm sober. I wasn't even sauced up, nothing. I'm just in there delirious as hell because I was so many nights.
I get that liquid courage,
dude. You sound. I mean, like for me, I'm in there. I feel like I'm crazy talking to nothing. If my wife heard me, she'd be like, "Are you drinking again?" Like, no, like. I had to confront it, It's like, hey, whatever you are not coming near this baby, this is my baby, Like I said, for me, it was like, I got, like, my family members that have passed, I know that they're all good spirits, they're, good luck. And it was like, after that, after calling it out, no more,
Dude, Vinny was getting sleep paralysis really bad, like 100% to where he couldn't get out of bed. He felt like he was holding him down.
There was just another thumbs up on the screen. That's fucking weird.
And we were on Xbox Live chat, and he was talking about it, and I think he said he saw like a figure, like a black figure, because a lot of people say when they have sleep paralysis, it's like this black just thing on you.
It's like a straw hat or the black hat. I don't know if the man with the black hat.
I can't remember if he said he had a black hat, but he was telling me about it, and of course I was like, you know what? Tell whatever that is, come over to my house. I was like, open arms. Leave my brother alone. Come over here. Fuck with me.
Yeah.
And then once I called it out, he stopped having sleep paralysis.
It's crazy how
it went away. So I was like, I'll take it. I was like, bring on the sleep paralysis. I don't give a fuck. Like, I've never had it. And I don't know why. I've called it out. I tried to get that thing to come into my house to fuck with me. And once I did that, he stopped having sleep paralysis.
That's crazy. I mean, that's good.
But he's tried. Because once he first was telling me about it, of course, it freaked him out. And I was like, dude, embrace it. I was like, try to get it to do whatever, like acknowledge it and let it be and just be like, all right, what do you want, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, it still kept doing it to him. And then whenever I called it out, I was like, come on over here. It went away. That's why I'm convinced that these spirits or demons or whatever they could be don't like me. And I don't think that, you stick around if you go to heaven. I don't think that. So I think all these spirits or ghosts or whatever they are evil. They have evil intentions. And I think like even that first video we watched, like when it comes to ghosts, I think they're like a memory. in a sense, of a person. I don't think that they're like chilling, coming back down, or reliving some stuff. I think it's just like a memory of kind of like just life itself.
Kind of like when you see a video of someone, you're like, oh, this is the memory of them. They're obviously not still here.
Yeah.
Kind of in that sense, maybe. It's
like what my mom saw. That dude walking
I was
across.
thinking about the man in the black cat when you said that. I was
Well,
wanting to
it
mention
didn't
that.
fuck with her. I just think that the house was old, and I
Yeah.
think it was just a memory of that dude walking from the closet to the door to leave, maybe. And but like these other things that are fucking with you, that actually you feel them or something like that, I think that is like a demon trying to fuck with you. Because to go back to that little girl that was fucking with that lady I was dating, my ex. She said that like her daughter had a friend staying over. They were sleeping in the same bed, and that girl got her leg yanked, and she was freaked the fuck out. And then her daughter was just like, "Hey, go away! Like we're trying to sleep." Like she completely acknowledged it. So like I said, she knew of that little girl, but like it yanked that girl's leg, and she freaked the fuck out.
This just made me think of something. So like after Madam was first born, like, and she was sleeping in our room in the crib, like, so if something would happen, like we would lay down in bed and we'd be super quiet, and me and my wife sleep with different sheets. Like I sleep, I'm hot, she's whatever, so I have my own sheet. And dude, for months, dude, even the other day at the hotel this happened, and just last week on vacation, I was telling Shane, I was like, remember whenever this used to happen? Like, so I'd be laying in bed, and it would feel like the cat was clawing at my leg, like pulling the blanket down. Oh
Y'all
man,
have a cat?
Yeah, the cat sleeps in my legs though. So I'm like, oh, stop, and not. I'm like, oh shit, the cat's right here. Like, so what's doing this? It did it for months, dude, and I was just like, whatever. And of course, after the conversation or whatever, no more, but. And when we were at the hotel the other day, it happened, and I was just like, I'm not even gonna think about it, just kind of not giving it that energy to start developing back into whatever it is. It's like I'm too tired, going to sleep. But it's like, dude, that feeling, man, it was just like weird. I just tried to not acknowledge it though. Like,
But y'all don't have anything else, right, in the house ever since you saged it?
nah. Well, the saging was before Madden. It was weird that things started happening. Not like nothing bad. Like it was like we couldn't sleep. I mean, it was weird whenever we first moved in, and of course we saged and all that. Dream catchers. The dream catcher's still in that room. We didn't take that shit out. But
Does she still talk to things? Like you think she's talking
No.
or something?
oh, not really.
I was about to call out your whatever spirits in the house. Tell it to fuck off.
Man, I don't know. Ghosts are, I don't know. It's weird because like Stephen Greer was talking. People are like Tucker Carlson is one to kind of.
Oh, he thinks the aliens are.
Yeah, he's putting them in that umbrella of the aliens are just spirits or demons, and it's like, man, I don't think it's that simple. Like whoever got to you and started telling you this, you're listening to them way too much.
It kind of makes some sense, and I'm only saying this because at my last job we used to have to team drive because we would drive pretty far, and sometimes you get booked up with like a random other driver. Most of the time it was always me and Vinny, but like I got booked up with this other guy, and you're on long drives, so you talk, and we were talking about religion and God and this. And this dude was a Bible thumping fool, like he was all about it. And he told me something that I kind of was like, huh, it made me scratch my head. He was like, in Revelations it says all this stuff's going to happen, then God's going to banish Satan to hell. And I was like, wait, so what you're saying that Satan isn't in hell right now? And he's like, no, not at all. He's walking the earth, and so are all his demons and followers. And I was like, oh shit. Like, so that main Revelations battle has not happened yet. So that means Satan is roaming the earth along with all his demons.
Man, a lot of people.
Fallen angels, like. So I'm like, oh shit. So that kind of makes sense so like that kind of brings it back to what Tucker was talking about, that maybe they are UFOs in a form of that.
But why would a spirit need a flight? A
It's
vehicle to fly in?
I mean,
unless
maybe they can portray themselves as whatever. Who knows?
I mean, yeah. I agree to that. But that it got me thinking. I think they said that in that video. Like, well, a spirit would need this, to fly. It's like they can get wherever they need to go, like a quantum teleportation type thing. It's like, yeah,
Maybe they are able to do the interdimensional thing, and that's what's going on. That like people are seeing, and I mean, look at all the fucking evil that's in the world right now.
Dude, the world's on fire right now. Like everywhere you look, like whenever we just went to Disney, it's like it was high wind alert because they'd say that for the fires, be careful.
Yeah.
But I was just saying in my last video, it's like, dude, I was driving behind people and they're flicking out their cigarette butts, and you see the ashes just. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you fucking idiot, That's just what I'm screaming, like, dude, you were the problem, But it's like those are the evil people. Those are the people that don't care.
Yeah.
It's like the people in the stores to where they're, they have no acknowledgement of anybody around them. They act like it's their world and nobody else is, right?
Mm.
And you can see them, they're just looking down. They're like NPCs,
Dude, and that shit's real.
Yeah. Dude, it's scary real.
Kind of like whenever, like Neo goes and Morpheus is walking through, and then that girl in the red dress or whatever, like all these people are just busy. Those are all NPCs. They're not awake yet. They haven't taken the fucking red pill.
Right.
And it's like, so what is the red pill in like today's society to make you wake up and realize certain things? Like, are you an NPC to other people that you don't know?
Right.
But like, they might see you as NPCs.
Well, I mean, so this kind of brings me to where, what I wanted to kind of come full circle on with you, because, I was working on the border, and y'all would come in, and it's just like, however I ran into you and crossed paths, it was something. Because damn, all these dang things. But it's like something had me drawn to you. Like for some reason, it's like I drop off your food, and one of the girls that you were like seeing or kind of at the time, was filling my ear with one thing. So it was like, oh, he's probably just this or that. But then, I start talking to you. And I'm like, oh, like this dude, he reminds me of me, So we start hanging out, doing this and that. You introduced me to my wife. And it's like, and I was telling her, like there's been that connection from the get-go, and now it's kind of coming full circle. And we're talking about this stuff that we're like running parallel.
Yeah.
Not crossing paths, we're running parallel to where we are trying to make more sense of it. We're trying to gain knowledge. Yeah. And that's, a lot of people that look for that knowledge, it can turn them down dark paths. I wanted it from the get-go, but I started dabbling with drugs, got put on pain medicine at an early age. Doctor misprescribed me. I didn't seek it. It got happened to me, and then I didn't choose to stop till way too late.
Yeah, because doctors always want to put you on some shit because they get a good kickback. More people they prescribe that shit.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, and that's what I was just battling, and I just got off this to stop pain medicine. They put you on a medication to crave withdrawal or craving. Curve cravings.
Yeah,
and so I was on that medicine for a long time, and I'm like, hey, I want to get off this. You shouldn't do it at this time. I'm like, but I'm almost done. You're having a life-changing event. You're about to have a baby. Like, okay, whatever. So then it's like I start having to use more of it because of whatever's going on. I think that's helping me. But it's almost like evil is like, nah, stay on this. And as I'm finally getting away from it, I'm like, I'm getting back to me. This is who I've wanted to be this whole time. This natural, authentic, what I consider a good person, wanting to help and spread the message.
Yeah.
But it's like, doctors are f***ing shitty, dude. They're out for their money.
I mean, think about it. There is
not all doctors, not all doctors,
but there's natural medicine out there that can help you. Doctors don't necessarily want you to have. They want to prescribe you all this shit. But I mean, I guess you can use like weed as an example. Like that helps a lot of people. I know you've seen those videos where the little kid is like just constantly just moving, or the older people, and they give them like a concentrate of THC, and they can just finally relax.
Big time, and luckily, Texas allows that for those, patients with, the severe seizures. Or
it's just big pharma, bro. They don't want you to. They don't want to legalize weed. They have in certain states, of course, but they don't want to because they're making so much money.
Yeah, it's what was weird is years ago, before even before we were talking about having a baby, You know, it was like it was back whenever I was drinking, so almost 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I was drinking and I was, you know, smoking like the, what is it, the wax, you know, like the concentrated,
dabs?
you know, yeah, the dab.
I stopped smoking weed before all that stuff got super popular.
Man, so I was doing that, and I would tell my doctor, like, hey, you know, this is what's going on, you know, and they would always say I was super healthy. It's no big deal. You can do that while you're taking this medicine, until it's like something became legal in Texas, like the laws changed, you know, so you could have hemp and blah, blah, blah. Well, whenever that happened, I wasn't smoking anymore. You know, like I would take I would use CBD cream. Like a company sent me CBD for the channel. Like, hey, try this out. You know, talk about it if you like it. And it's like CBD, like nothing that's making me high, nothing that's making me anything.
Yeah.
But it pops you positive on a drug test,
That's
right?
that's why I can't use any of that for inflammation I might have.
My doctors were like, we can't even talk to you anymore because you have THC in your system. I'm like, THC? Like how?
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe like the CBD. And they're like, oh yeah, CBD will do it. Like, well, I can
like a false
buy
positive
that over a
thing.
counter. Like, what? Y'all used to know whenever I smoked heavily,
Yeah.
and y'all were okay with it. Now that I take a CBD cream for my joints, really? Like, they said no more. And so it's like, it was a blessing from God, though. You know, it was like, it helped me decide to get off that medicine. Like these doctors overweight. You know, it's like, man, if you have a doctor that's overweight, that should be your first
Yes.
like eye opener of like, okay, if they really care about their health, they would not look the way they look. And
Exactly.
I know some people have problems, diabetes, call it what you want, but it's like, you know, we can go down the road of Ozempic. I can't stand that drug.
All you people that are thinking about doing Ozempic,
Don't do it.
don't do it. Do the method that I was talking about earlier. Chicken and potatoes and fast for 24 hours. Just eat once a day for a month. And I
Yeah.
promise you'll lose 5 to 10 pounds.
Try for 2 weeks. I guarantee you'll have a result.
Cut out all the sugar. All the sugar on the weekends. Eat whatever you want. Try not to eat, you know, too much crazy, nasty shit. But, like, that'll help keep you sane. But don't do Ozempic. Don't ever do anything that they just come out with and they say is safe. Like, give it a while, because they're going to start seeing, like, what that shit does to you. You know?
Well,
You're starving yourself.
that's all they're doing, and they're not doing, since they see how easy it is, they're like, I don't need to go to the gym. I got my membership right here in this shop form. And so they're not, you know, supplementing their bone density, you know, with the weightlifting and stuff. You know, it's helping their bones stay dense, or putting the nutrients in on them. So like that double factor is just eating you inside out.
Yeah, dude.
It's so bad for you. I mean, if you do it right, maybe it's okay, but
It's not okay, man.
I don't think it's okay. I wouldn't suggest it for anybody. I mean, I've lost 122 pounds. I've been through it,
That's
and I've
crazy.
kept it off. You know, like I was
crazy. That's
298 pounds. And
Holy shit. Were you really?
yeah. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
No, I did not know that. Damn, dude.
Yeah, I was big, man, and you know, after football and stuff, and
Congrats.
I was on the pain medicine, dude, and it was like, it was easy to not do anything.
Yeah.
But I got sick of it, man. I was like, I want off of this, and I stopped taking the pain medicine, got healthy, stopped eating bad, stopped eating out. I lost like 20 or 40 pounds in like 2 months, and I was like,
Yeah, that's
man,
wild, dude.
and it just like, it was a snowball effect for me, because I saw that it was possible.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just staying active, getting outside more. Yeah, you got to get outside. You know,
Yeah, that I want to add to the whole chicken and potatoes thing. You have to be somewhat active, like move around, go outside, go for walks.
Just go
I
for a
mean,
walk. 20 minutes.
20 minutes, something. Walk around the block, walk your dog longer. You know, just
You
something
can look at
that.
your phone, go for a walk. Just try not to get hit by a car, or maybe do. It's a natural selection.
Yeah, man, you gotta stay active. Yeah, and like I think also for all men at the ages 25 and up, go get your testosterone checked.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and make sure it kind of goes back to what you said, that the doctor isn't like fat or something, like, you know. And another thing, go to a doctor that specializes in hormone therapy.
Absolutely.
Because they know what they're talking about. And so, like, I'm on TRT, and the doctor that prescribes it to me is extremely knowledgeable, and that's all he does. That's
Is he like a urologist, I assume?
yeah. I go to the Low T center in Mansfield, and dude, I feel so much better. Like, I was talking to this Uber driver. He was like 40 something, and he was telling me how he's just like tired and this and that. And I was like, hey, have you got your levels checked? And he's like, no. And I was like, you definitely need to. Like, it's extremely healthy to have your levels where they need to be. I mean, look at all the like the older people that still look good. Like people back in like the 70s and 80s, and they were like 30. You thought they looked fucking like 60. God, I mean, there's that famous picture of the Cheers, you know, the Cheers TV show, and it's like it shows their ages above. Man. And they look old.
Just even like my dad, like seeing him at 30, he looked like he was 45, 50, you know. But now he's, you know, in his mid 60s, and he still looks like he's 45, 50 though. Like he's, I have good genes, you know. I have Cherokee in my blood, so it helps out a lot. But
but I highly recommend getting your levels checked and seeing where you're at. I mean, because you know they'll definitely try to get you on other stuff, like to get your natural testosterone back kicking up. But like, if you still feel bad, like get on TRT. It is 100% game changer. Like it'll make you want to go to the gym and do something, and it gives you so much energy, dude.
Does it make you sleepy at all?
No.
See,
it helps my sleep.
Yeah, it helped my sleep a lot, but it could have been other things. Like I did testosterone therapy for a while, and not last year, like they were pumping me weight, like they were double dosing me because I had an idiot doctor. Like I went to the tea place in Burleson, and they just shut down, so obviously they were doing something wrong.
Right.
And I was like, hey, you know, I didn't really want to do it, but I wanted my sex drive to go up. You know, I want to have a happy marriage, and
of course.
I have low T, so that causes libido problems, but for me, it was a lot of my diet. Yeah. So I don't do low T. I don't do TRT anymore.
Oh, really?
And like I found ways to boost it up naturally.
Yeah.
And of course, the medication I was on was hurting me. Alcohol, dude. Like I had a 5% chance having a baby, right? So not only go get your testosterone levels checked, go to a fertility doctor. Get your everything checked, because a lot of people don't start realizing they have a problem until they're in their 30s, mid 30s, because they've been exhausted trying to have a baby, right?
Right.
So that's where I found out my stuff. You know, and there's always a way. I was able to have a baby due to science, you know? Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how taking care of your body, getting outside, breathing fresh air will just do you wonders. Sunlight does a lot.
Yeah.
And people are scared of that shit, man.
What's that one movie where, what is that movie? Benchwarmers. Do you remember that movie when he's scared to go outside?
Oh yeah, I think it's Nick Swartzen.
Nick Swartzen, yeah.
He has that weird bob cut.
Yeah.
That dude.
Did you say you wanted to talk about the Men in Black? And what you think that is?
Yeah. Man, well, I talked about it just a little bit in my last video. Whenever I started making these videos, my dad was like, oh, you know, I found out my mom and dad were really into conspiracy theories. And I was like, well, why? You know, obviously there's a reason why.
Right.
And my dad was like, okay, so there's this thing that happened whenever I first met your mom, and, you know, they had told me about, like, they were at it was my mom's uncle's house. And they lived in Mesquite. I couldn't think of Mesquite the other day. I said, like, Dallas and Grapevine.
Yeah.
They lived in Mesquite. And so, like, which was my great uncle and great aunt, my great uncle was at, like, there whenever JFK was in the parade. You know, he was on the car filming it as he got shot. Like,
and you said that.
A clear video of everything that happened, you know, in that whole area. And for some reason, I guess he just, like, didn't think about it, you know, because everything was so crazy. Like, he just put the tape on the shelf. So years later, like, I guess he was going through, you know, I guess as people do, they miss their kids growing up, this and that, so they go through the home movies.
Right.
And he found that tape and was like, oh, shit. You know, my parents were there. And it was something to where, like, he had found it, and then he was, I guess, telling people about it. And then he was like, oh, well, I want to show y'all too. And that day, whenever they were going to check it out, or they were talking about it, these people showed up in the car, my dad said. And he said that they made everybody leave out of the house, like, took everybody in separate spots, and they ransacked the house, like, tore it apart, like, messed up the house. And took every videotape they had, so every home movie was gone. Damn. And he was like, the only thing we could think is, like, well, it wasn't then, like, Men in Black wasn't a thing. Men in Black only happened because of the movie. Or I guess, I don't know how it was back then. But he says, now I understand, like, those people were Men in Black. They came and did that. They were in black. They had black cars, like Cadillacs. Like,
Yeah.
like a 70s style, colors or whatever. It's like, what? Like, come on.
Well, I mean, I think Men in Black has always been a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they made a movie about it just to put it in your face. They're always hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think about with all the aliens thing. It's like they're getting you set up for what's going to happen. They're putting it in your face. They're getting all the generations of, they're getting all their minds prepared for what's going to happen.
Well, so one thing I meant to bring up earlier is like, it seems like, they started that whole process, from the 50s to the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird how they introduced psychedelics, and like, what is it, the MGK or MK Ultra?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they're trying to like mess with people's minds, and then they're giving them hallucinogens, and it's like opening their minds, but then they shut it all off. They take it all away and make it illegal, So it's like, it's hard for me to understand, like, are they trying to help us believe, or...
I think they were just testing on the public to see what it would do.
Yeah, well, it seemed like it was a good thing because they gave it to people and then people enjoyed it, and then they were like, well, we got to get right with God, and they all went to church.
Mm-hmm.
And right after they started banning it, all those people were looking for a religious reasoning, so it opened their mind in a good way, but, it's pretty controlled if they're getting them all in the churches. Like, we're kind of getting them under that umbrella of, one God,
Mm-hmm.
One world, which is cool, whatever. But it's like, man, it seems like nowadays that it's opening back up. Like psilocybin's legal in a lot of states now. We're seeing more things than ever. Like, actually seeing them, documenting them. But also it's opening people's minds to where they're, like, feeling okay about it. And they can talk about it. And so I'm like, kind of what's going on in between there? That makes me kind of question a lot of things.
I don't really know on that one. Like... I think they were just testing it on the public at first, and maybe it kind of backfired. They were like, "Oh, y'all are opening y'all's minds too much. Like, we need to slow y'all down."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know why they're doing it now. So I don't know what would be the point for them to make things legal again.
Well, I mean, of course, that'd probably come back around to the whole big pharma, probably trying to keep that closed off, but other avenues are trying to open it up. Yeah, I don't know. It's something I want to talk about eventually a little bit more in depth. Because I just started looking into it, and I was like, he talked about it in that video, and I was like, And it started making me think, like, well, the propaganda that started with, like, reefer madness back in the 30s or 40s.
Yeah, that's big pharma, 100%.
Yeah, and it's like, it almost seems like big pharma's battling the government now, or maybe in a sense. It's where it's like the government wants to release this, but how's that going to affect big pharma in a sense?
Yeah.
People are like, I don't need all these drugs anymore to numb myself. I just want to go be with the aliens. I want to drink that Kool-Aid. It's like, slow down. Just drink a little bit, microdose it,
Yeah, for sure.
Don't dive in, make sure the water is, good temperature. Of course, then you dive down into the rabbit holes. It's like, a lot of people think that's going to happen very soon.
What's your thoughts on dreams?
Man, so... I have a weird superpower, I would call it.
Oh, deja vu?
Yeah. So I have some weird cases of deja vu.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a time where I was in the Fuzzies at Arlington. I was with my buddy Mikey. I was like, hey, man, here's one of them deja vu points. I was like, that Steve Miller Band, the Joker's about to play. Boom, come on the fucking radio, or on the jukebox. And I was like,
Really?
I told you, man. I told you. Like, yeah, dude. I had one recently. Like, so I've been going and seeing this counselor. And he's just blown away by these stories I'm telling him. And he's not necessarily a Bible thumper, but he's a Bible thumper that's really cool, open-minded, doesn't push it on me, but tells me a lot of cool stories. And I'm trying to tell him, like, hey, like, something, I don't know what this is. And I had a deja vu experience with him. And I was like, oh, shit, I've been here. I know what you're about to talk about. And he was like, what? Like, this is the weirdest thing. I'm like, dude, like, you got to keep going. And we started getting into, like, the telepathy tapes and stuff, which for me is a big deal right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm on the spectrum or something. I'm not trying to say anything like that. But it's like, I have these weird moments. Like, I've told you, like, I can read my wife's mind sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And she hates buying Christmas presents for me. I'm not bullshitting you. Like, my wife will not buy me Christmas presents anymore. It took about 5 or 6 years. It's like, right when she'd walk in the door, it's like I could just, like, picture it in my head what she had bought or brought in, or what was delivered. Like, it would the box ended up on the doorstep. Like, is that a pair of shoes? She'd be like, motherfucker. She'd throw it at me. She'd get so mad. Like, just take it. Like, I'm like, dude, like, you act like I know it. Like, I'm just, for some reason, something pops in my head, and I'm so blunt, I say it out loud. Like, I don't know. And so I was telling my mom and dad, and my mom said, your dad does that same shit with me. I was like, no, crap. You know, like, and so I've just been trying to make sense of it. And then telepathy tapes, you know, come out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, these nonverbal kids, you know, this, that, and the other. And now it's like they're on the hill. I don't know if you've heard about the hill.
I've heard, yeah.
And it's like, I want to tap into it, you know, but I don't want to be messing with some. I don't know. I feel like people are about to be trying to get to the hill to talk to these people, and they're going to take over and ruin something good for them, you know. So it's like,
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. Until, you know, someone always ruins it for everybody.
What's that called? It's kind of like when you, like astral projection.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be so cool.
Man, I want to do that so bad.
But as far as like dreams go, I think that dreams are like you're tapping into another version of yourself in a different reality. Like, I think the multiverse thing is real. Absolutely. And I think that's what dreams are. I mean, if God created us with free will, don't you think He would want to see if you went in the left door instead of going through the right door and seeing, you know, and that could be a version of you that goes on, and that's still another reality. Yeah. And you're getting like visions of that as you dream, because they don't know what dreams are. And like, we just go to sleep and then we're seeing things that we've done. You're just like, what the hell? Like, that was weird. Yeah. And like, maybe deja vu is another path that you're tapping into, that you've already, you know, experienced that song coming on the radio, and it's like you dreamed about that version of yourself already knowing it, but it wasn't deja vu to that version of you in that reality. But then you catch up with it over here, because maybe it's so close to the same, but one thing's different. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. It's like, I swear that's what I feel like dreams are.
The good news is you're not
I'm
crazy.
big on that too. I mean, ever since like I had that incident where like I was given the wrong medication with the wrong drug, and like, I'm telling you, 3 days of my life, I don't remember a solid day, but they said I was doing whatever, trying to go to Blockbuster and being a kid. And it's like, you know, ever since I woke up on that fourth day, I like woke up in my parents' house on the floor, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know? Yeah. Like, it was just weird, like what's going on. But whenever I started seeing like different numbers than what I remembered, like I'm telling you, this plate had my weight and my time and my birth date on it. Mm-hmm. It's like a baby plate. And it's like, I know the time I was born. Like, numbers are just my thing. I've always been big into math. I've been really good at math always. And so numbers are something like I cling to for some reason. Like, I remember everybody's birthday. I always remember everybody's phone number type stuff.
What's my birthday?
Oh, I have to know. Like, nowadays it's a little different, Colby. It was where the time and the weight of me was different.
Do you think that, because I floated around with this idea too, like, if there is a multiverse, what if when you die in one reality, then you get transferred into another reality? That's what I think, man. And then slightly things are different, like the whole Mandela effect sort of thing. It's like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's a big thing too for me.
Maybe you died in that other reality, and then like you woke up in this current one, and that's why the numbers were slightly different.
Well, so I believe that, you know. I've had a few situations in my life where, like, one time I drowned at Burgers Lake. Weirdly, my brother's friend choked me out and let me just go underwater.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know if that was one of the times. You know, I've been in a car accident where, you know, whenever I go back to that night, I was like, what if I died that night? I was wearing a seatbelt. We went through, you know, one of those brick mailboxes, just exploded it. Oh, yeah. And then went through a tree. Damn. You know, so there's no telling what happened. And I mean, I've just had a few experiences to where it's like, did I die, you know?
Maybe you got an old soul, you know, and the people that are new souls, like, they don't have that sort of feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I would want to come back. I got shit to do, you know, like, I want to help the world. I want to change the world. So it's like, if someone gave me the option of being done, it's like, yeah, I'm tired, but it's like, man, these people are more tired. You know, in my head, for some reason, I've always been worried about the other person than myself. Like, I don't know, man. A few of those times, it's like, I think that I've come back to this reality and it's changed, or even to another reality because things are different. Like a lot of things I've started noticing are different, you know, and people share their stories now with me. We have these similar coincidences. It's like, how does that make sense? You know, it's like, man, I say that I'm on my third or fourth life in a different reality. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I couldn't even guess, to be honest with you. I think I've done this before, you know, but yeah, that's.
They say a lot has to do with like the day you were born. Right now, numerology's been a lot that I've been trying to look into. Mm-hmm. And so what I was reading is like if you're born on the 11th, then you're like above like the ninth power or whatever it is to where you're actually trying to just figure out how to control your emotions, and you've done everything else. So you're content with everything that you do or how everything flows. So you're like kind of go with the flow. Mm-hmm. But the only thing that gets you is your emotions because of the outside source of everybody else. So once you can control that, you master everything. I'm like, damn, that makes a lot of sense, you know, because I'm a very emotional dude. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm borderline female, you know, not a transgender way, no offense to anybody. But it's like, I'm emotional. Like, I give my wife... Movies? Oh, hell yeah, The Notebook gets me every time.
I was just about to say, you cry in The Notebook.
Maybe not The Notebook, but probably. Nah, but yeah, dude, I cried during movies.
You cried during Brokeback Mountain?
I've never seen Brokeback Mountain.
I've never seen it either, but I heard people cry in that. I don't even know what happened.
Like, Paradise. I don't know if you watched that on Hulu.
No.
It's a badass show, dude. I cried during that shit at the end. Oof. Got me good.
Yeah. That's crazy. Things that make me cry in movies is like when the kid dies or something like that. I'm just like, oh, I can't.
Like Marley and Me, the dog.
Dude, it just tugs on my heart. I'm just like, man, because I don't know. Maybe a previous life or a different reality, like you have experienced losing a child, and it's like it connects in a way. Like you're able to feel that through the multiverse.
See, I feel like if it's a multiverse, then we're all connected, like in a quantum entanglement. You know, it's where like, you know, if one particle's here, it can be all the way over there.
Right.
And so what's me is really you. What's you is really anybody. Mm-hmm. You know, so we all share, you know, a consciousness at some level. I think that's where the telepathy kind of comes.
I think we do. I think consciousness. I think we all get our consciousness from the main one conscious, which would be God. And I think that everything that God created, he's wanting to see his creation in every fashion that it could take, like every choice that you make, or even like an evil person or something like that. Like God wants to experience his creation because we are all consciousness. Like these are just meat vessels, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we are not these pods. Like it's up here. Mm-hmm. And I think God wants to experience his creation because he gives us free will. He's like, what's going to happen, you know, if I just give it free will and it just does whatever? Would you want to experience that? You know what I mean? Every version that, you know, your experiment takes, like you want to experience like what's going to happen. So that's why I feel like, you know, you are me and I am you, and it's like because we are all part of God.
Well, and to an extent, because you have the NPCs.
Well, I feel like those are still God too. And I really don't think God's going to send his creation to hell. I think what he's going to send to hell is obviously just Satan and all his followers.
Yeah, and see that's what bugs me a lot about religion. Like, I'm not super religious. You know, I believe in God, but my definition of God is, I think it's a lot more than what people define it as here.
Yeah.
You know, just 'cause it's not just a being that's...
Yeah, I'm not closed-minded to, like, how the church is like, oh, this is, you know, one way to think. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't go to church. Like, I have my relationship with God. Yeah. You know, and that's it. I talk to him every morning, and I don't feel like you need to go to church to prove that, you know, that you have a relationship with God. I think church is kind of like school in a sense. Like, it'll help you gain some more knowledge or be around like-minded people that, I don't know, just kind of recharge your positive battery in a sense. Because, I mean, every church I've been to, it's like everybody's in a good mood, positive. So, I mean, I'm not saying church is bad or you don't need to go, but yeah, I don't think that you have to, particularly to have a relationship with God. You know what I mean? So I think you should just do what's right.
Yeah.
And even if you don't, then, you know, I think that's just, once you die, God's like, hey, you didn't learn your lesson, go back down there. And it's like you get spit out and you're another version of essentially yourself, but different, I don't know, facial features, male or female, whatever you could come out. But that kind of comes back around to like deja vu. What if you have experienced that in the previous life, you know, something like that? You know what I mean? So,
It's hard. I mean, because, you know, I thought I was always good and then got steered down that wrong path. And it's like, man, evil took me over. I'm for sure, but I was like damn near possessed for years, dude. I mean, basically from the time that I got married. Like,
I was about to say, was this before or after I met you?
after. Like, I was drinking hard, man. Like,
Yeah, because there was
all
a
day,
time
every
that
day.
I didn't see you for a while.
Yeah. It's like, bro, like it was taking me over to where I didn't want to be here anymore.
Really?
Like,
Damn,
dude,
why did you
like,
call me?
Bro, like, it's weird, man. Like, I was isolating. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I just wanted to drink, pass out, wake up and do it again. And it was like,
Yeah.
what kind of life is that, you know?
It's not a good one.
Not at all, bro. Like, so that's another thing I preach to people. It's like, hey, you know, if you can't moderate something, I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't need to do it if you can't moderate it. But also, moderation needs moderation. So it's like you gotta have a fine-tuned balance, and you gotta know yourself. Like, I don't have an addictive personality, so I just probably won't ever drink again in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe like the day I die. But, you know, like,
On your deathbed, like, give me a shot.
yeah, give me that fireball.
Give me that damn fireball.
You know,
That fireball will get you, boy. Jeez.
yeah, but you know, so there's something to that. But for me, what always comes back around is just like, well, if this is all these stories are about redemption. How would something so that was supposed to be good turn evil? Just
Maybe-
gonna forever be evil?
Maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe God knew that was going to happen and let it happen to test his creation. You know, to put it out there to see what's his creation actually going to do if they go down this certain path and like they're baited into, they're doing certain things and you just kind of give into it, and then before you know it, you're going down a shit path and you're a shit person, you know. And it's like, well, now you got to bring yourself out of that. It's like challenging you if you can get through it. And now look at you, and you did, which is fucking awesome.
I just like for people to know, it's like, just because you're bad or done something wrong doesn't mean you can't come back around. You know, it
Right,
doesn't mean
of
you have
course.
to be like, oh, well, I already
I'm
hurt
too
this
far
person.
in,
I
sort of
might as
thing.
well just go ahead and go be berserk with it. I'm just always, I try and see the best in people. I always look for the positive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me to just accept that there's bad and like that's all it is. It's never going to change. You know, it's like, maybe not. Maybe it is that simple. But I overthink the shit out of things, you know. And that's, I don't know, religion's just a hard topic for me. I don't know, you got good churches and bad churches. So it's like, one's just disguised as the other, but it's evil.
Yeah.
It's like, it's probably, like I said, not something for me to talk about. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Like that Joel Osteen guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you got this massive church, you're getting paid so much money, and it's like I don't know, maybe he went down the wrong path and got, because they say all money's evil.
Oh, man.
And maybe he had good intentions and it was like, you know, he felt good and he was doing good. And now it's like you're flying in private jets, like you got all this money now, and it's like it's made you a certain way. Like that when what was it, in Houston when all those floodings, and he was like not letting you up. No, fuck y'all. It's like, whoa, okay, so we know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, you're not what you're preaching at all. And then he tries to save face. He's like, oh, yeah, you can come in once it blew up. It's like...
That's the main thing that I think about whenever I talk about that stuff.
Yeah,
It's
like, I think some preachers miss the point of what they're doing, and then evil comes around, and they don't know it's evil, but it is they get greedy and all those sins and everything else. And it's like, that maybe that's God's way or his way of testing Joel Osteen, but he gave in, and now he is what he is. And it's like, people like that, do you really want to listen to them? Like, they might be steering you down the wrong path too. They might be a puppet now.
Yeah, and that's what's so hard. But like I said, this is perfect. Exactly what I'm talking about. It's just like, it can look the exact same but be totally different. You know, it can sound the same and be totally different. One's evil, one's good. It's like, but you got to decide. You know, but that's where the karma thing also comes into play of, you know, am I really trying to just do this to get something, or am I doing it naturally? No, well, I believe that, like, I'm just good naturally. I'm gonna help that person open the door, carry their bag, groceries. I'm gonna do that because I want to do it, just because I can't stand to not do it.
Right.
You know, I don't care what happens after that. I'm gonna stub my toe later. I'm not gonna think it's because I didn't do something. You know, that's what I mean. Is karma is it's a slippery slope. Most people just say, "Oh, this is something I can get rewarded for doing good." Like, nah.
Yeah, that made me laugh. Like that meme of that kid riding the bike, and then he puts the stick to the bicycle and he falls over and he's like, fucking Trump. It's so funny. You're always looking for someone to blame for shit that happens to you in your life instead of just taking accountability for, you know.
That's a big part of it, man. And so we can start accepting accountability, holding ourselves. I mean,
yeah, you got to hold yourself accountable for what's going on in your life because there's opportunities out there, but if you don't walk through that door, then, you know,
you never know.
It's because you're blinded by your own bullshit. You're not holding yourself accountable, and you're not staying humble. You know, you gotta be humble and positive.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, and then, you know, you have some people that you know, they're the standout of the group. They're the smart person or the driven person, and they're running ideas by their friends, and they're like, that's a dumb idea. You couldn't probably do that. This will stop you. This will hurt you. And, you know, those doors get shut before you can even open them yourself. And so, I mean, that's something people need to pay attention to is, you know, who you're surrounding yourself with can do a lot for you.
Yeah. 100%.
It can hurt you. It can build you up. Like, I learned it the hard way. I thought this friend group was good and we were going to do things together. And then, you know, this is before I even met you.
Yeah.
Like, I did that with a few friend groups and it was just like, okay, let's try this another way.
I think it's wise to keep your circle small and make sure the people that are in your circle are like-minded and, you know, they're positive. You know, because that'll get you places. That'll start opening up doors. If you still got that one friend that's just a shit friend, and you gotta kick them to the curb. I mean, you ain't gotta be mean to them or anything, but you just gotta distance yourself because, I mean, that brings back around to what we were saying earlier about your energy. Like, if that person just has shit energy, it's always negative, it's gonna affect yours.
Yeah.
You know, and you just gotta, I mean, you could still, if they need a shirt or whatever, like, you know, you could always still help them, but keep arm's reach, you know, at that person because they're going to bring you down and you don't want that. I mean, do your best to spread the positivity, but if there's no change in their minds, I mean, dude, you just got to like, stay over there, bro. Like, I got you. I love you, but you're bringing me down.
Yeah.
You know?
You got to set boundaries, you know, and if they cross them, you got to let them go.
That's how, like, so I got a helper at work and he's always negative and it's just, it will dictate your day. And we're stuck next to each other all day and it's just like, I tell him all the time, like, bro, stop getting so upset about every little thing that's out of your control. Like, you're letting the smallest thing dictate your entire work day. Like, just be okay with it, move on, you'll get over it. But if you stick on it, then the whole rest of your day is going to be shit because you're just going to be negative and you're just going to keep bringing in more negativity. Yeah. It's like, just let that thing be positive and keep on about your day. You know what I mean? So but he's young and he doesn't understand. He doesn't have a whole life experience. He's living in the now, you know, sort of moment.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like me in the past, man. I was always chasing a high or a drink or a substance, and work was never good enough. It was like, I just couldn't wait to get off work to get my fix, or sometimes in the middle of work, get the fix, you know.
You just got to roll with the punches, man. And today's a new day. And
yeah, you got to find the positives. If you stare and look for the negatives, you find yourself in a deep hole.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Patience is another big thing. Like, one thing that opened my mind, I can't remember, I think it was Joe Rogan that said this, and it was when I first started driving trucks. You know, you get stuck in traffic and you're just like, fuck, like, I'm stuck in traffic, like, this fucking sucks. But once you learn to just be like, okay, well, I'm stuck in traffic, like, it is what it is, and you take that negativity of what it is out of the equation and you just accept it, you feel fine. You're like, okay, not a big deal, I'm stuck in traffic. And it goes away. It really does. But if you focus on that negative thing, it's just going to keep you pissed off until you finally get out of traffic. But then, like, that negativity and that negative energy is still with you on to the next thing. And you might come home and your wife might be like, she might say something, it just triggers you real fast because you're still holding on to that negativity. But, like, say if you just said, okay, I'm stuck in traffic, this is what it is right now, I'm cool with it, and you come home and then you're instant or immediately nice to your wife, or if she does something wrong, it doesn't immediately piss you off. You know, you're just in like an okay mood. So that's why being positive is it's a cheat code. It's a great cheat code to keep and just to live by. I mean,
I call it my superpower, man. Like, you can give me one situation. I've always tried, like, you could give me the worst scenario. I guarantee you I can find a positive. I don't care what it is.
Don't say that. I mean, there could be some real bad shit happen to you in your life that, you know.
I can always find it. I mean, there's always the redemption side. There's always what you bring out of it, how you help people from it. You know.
That's true. I mean, you could help
I'm not trying to say like bad things don't happen, you know, because they do. There's some things that I don't, want to think about that.
Yeah, I don't even want to speak
You
that
know,
shit into
yeah.
existence. That's another
Yeah,
thing. Speaking things into existence
Man,
is
my wife
you
is
give it
terrible
power.
about that.
You kind of do give it power in a sense. It's like you can bring that into reality by speaking it.
I'm like,
And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad.
I'm borderline like, is my wife an NPC? Because she does that shit all the time. And I'm like, why did you say it into existence, And I'm just like, maybe she's an NPC. I don't know. She's so black and white, dude.
Yeah, really?
But yeah, man, it's
Close-minded?
interesting. She's just a rule follower. She's obviously not close-minded because she dated me. Married me. We've almost been together. We've almost been just in this house for 10 years.
Really? It's my first time here. Wow.
Mother of God.
I isolated hard. I drank hard. COVID happened, man. It's what I've learned is we all go through this certain part of life that if we're not working with other people, we have to work on ourselves. And for me, that was the case. Is I always tried to do things with other people. I always wanted us to do it as a group, but I was doing it the wrong way. Once I found out I do better, if I start this by myself, and then I can pull people in kind of like this.
Right.
Because I want to share. I want people to enjoy this. I definitely want people to have to work. Like, I want to do more of this so I can help the community. I can help other people. Like, people reach out to me. I don't like the people that want to give me money for something. If they want to do something because they're starting out for free, it might help them out. I'm like, yeah, I'll give you 10 seconds on the video, so people will know who you are, go out, this and that. I think that's important, so for me, doing all the individual stuff so I can help people get to where I got, like, that's been the road for me. It's been very powerful, but there's been a lot of sacrifices too, and even my family had to, be part of that. Like, my family suffered from it. My wife suffered from it. My best friends have suffered from it. Anybody I knew that I was close to suffered from it. And it's just like, what happened to Bryce? Where did he go? I was like, I disappeared for a few years. And then for a couple more years.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing because I finally got to be myself again, and I get to share that with y'all now. Like,
you were able to navigate those roadblocks.
Yeah. But, to get away from all that, it's nice. It's refreshing, but it's just like, you're sorry, but you're not sorry. It's like, it's the only way I could get here.
Yeah, man, but you ended up exactly where you're supposed to be.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's worked out. I'm super blessed, super fortunate. And I just hope I can help others do it now. That's kind of another goal in this whole podcast thing is,
yeah,
I want people to learn from my dumb mistakes. Like, you're gonna make your own mistakes, obviously, but if I can kind of help you, like, hey, if I can be that angel on your shoulder, if you're just hearing the devil all the time like I was, like, have fun, do this, do that. If something pops up and it's like, man, I remember Bryce talking about this. Maybe I should go home instead of going out. Maybe I should not eat this instead of that. Maybe I should put down the drink. Maybe I should put down the whatever it is that I'm doing too much of and go live a little or read anything, research, look into something, study something, better yourself.
Want some nature walks,
Yeah.
Immerse yourself back with land. Do you believe in grounding?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true too. I think it's a good reset.
If you saw my shoe collection, you'd be like, no, the hell you don't. I have a worse shoe collection than most girls, bro.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah.
You're a big shoe nut?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, I think I have just in this room like 3 pairs just that I put on this morning.
Really?
Yeah, I have like 100 pairs maybe.
I never got into shoes like that. Just never
It's
really
about the
did.
soul, Nah, that's kind of more of a joke.
Yeah.
But stupid as hell. I do have a lot of shoes though. What was I gonna say? Oh, I just what I've learned is the easiest way is just try and be better than you were the day before. Whether that's 1%, 0.0001%.
Yeah.
Like, it's that simple. If you want to work out more, eat a little less, drink a little less, whatever. It's that simple. Just try a little harder than the day before.
Shotzi!
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to tell people about you while you're on this podcast? Or
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
I mean, I've always listened to podcasts, and obviously, like, we're good friends, and I saw this as a good opportunity to be able to hang out again.
Yeah. Right.
And just vibe and bullshit. Like I said, keep your circle tight and make sure it's around like-minded people, and you're a good, positive guy. And I'm right now, I need that around me for real, because I mean, I'm transitioning from a relationship, and to make sure I stay on a good path, if I surround myself with shit people that are always wanting to go party and drink constantly and not do what I want to do in my mind, then I could go down that path, you know. So I want to surround myself with good, positive people. And then you gave this opportunity. I'm like, I need to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Keep my mindset correct and on that path that I want to be on. Yeah. You know? So yeah, life's changing for me right now. It really is. Like, I was with my ex for 2 years, living in that house. Man, I don't blame her for anything. I mean, I know where I was at and my faults with that. Like, I was drinking a lot. I wasn't going to the gym. Like, I'd get off work, first thing I would do, start drinking.
Yeah.
And
really?
It's not good at all. Like, I still drink, but dude, I was drinking like 2 bottles a week. 2 handles, man.
I would do that easy enough.
And yeah, I was just on a bad path, and it showed in our relationship, and you know, we just grew apart. And just that last month, just, I don't know, just something clicked in my head. I was like, this isn't good. Like, I'm going down the wrong path. Like, I need to get back in the gym. I need to start eating healthier. And that's when I got on the health kick. And when I started eating right, I was feeling better. I was implementing the gym like a lot. So like, I always get off pretty early because I go in at 5 and I'm off by noon. And I used to drink from noon till I went to sleep, like 9 o'clock. I'd wake up feeling like shit.
That's the worst.
But you know, it was like a repeat cycle, and it really affected the relationship. But you know, it is what it is, and I try to look at all the negative things as a positive too, because you know, maybe I was supposed to do all that so we could split, and maybe she's gonna go find someone that's gonna meet all her needs, because I just couldn't do it, you know. And she might find Mr. Right, and maybe that's why I was drinking like I was, and that way we could split, you know, so she could find something better. But then at the very end of the month, like, the damage was already done, and at the last month of right before we decided to split, I wanted to start doing better and bettering myself and stop drinking so much. And I started hitting the gym, and I started eating right, and I feel happier. But the job is already done as far as like the relationship. And who knows, maybe down the road,
So you're telling
we can
me
link back
there's a
up,
chance?
because we'll have that growth, and you know, we'll be our own individuals and figure things out that we need to figure out in life. So I always try to find the positives and the negatives.
No, you're doing a good job.
But I mean, I feel a lot better. Like, I'm on a better mindset, better path. Because man, I'll tell you what, like, looking back at pictures and just how I used to look and be, you know, just a shit version of myself, and just changed some things up, and now I feel so much better. And like I said, I want to surround myself with like-minded people, and keep the circle small and tight. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do this when you gave me the opportunity. Like, we were talking about opportunities and everything. It's like, when they're presented, either you take them and you walk through that door, or you don't. And so yeah, man.
Well, I talk about manifestation. Like, I'm telling you, there's even this family member of mine that's like, does the same weird stuff and talks about stories like mine with the manifesting deja vu. Mm-hmm. And she was over here the day that I talked to you. But of course, I talked to you later in the afternoon. This is in the morning. I was like, hey, I need help, like, manifesting somebody for my podcast. Mm-hmm. And I was like, if you'll please just think of someone or put someone into this manifestation for me. I was like, I'm trying to do it, but I feel like I need help. And she's like, okay. And she did her little thing. And somehow, you know, later in the afternoon, I was talking to you, and I was like, this is so weird, you know, because we were just going on and on. And I was like, man, this is perfect. Like, we're on the same, like, just like I said, parallel paths of, the crazy alien paranormal stuff. Yeah. The open-mindedness. But there was something else there that it's just like, the link was just, it was too tight. I was like,
we're on
man.
the same wavelength, bro. 100%.
Yeah.
Love
made me
you,
think
dog.
of James Franco from Pineapple Express. I can't remember what he
I want to
said,
be inside you, Holmes.
but you sounded just like him. Yeah, this is Colby, by the way, y'all.
Oh yeah, he didn't introduce me. My name's Colby, and hi everybody.
Yeah, this is our podcast is called Glitch in Reality. And that's the baby.
Yep. That's the baby.
Yeah, I mean, I say we can wrap it up here on that. Like, I like that you told that story too. It's just, man, it's bringing back memories for me. It's just like, damn.
Yeah, I didn't know if I wanted to tell it, but I was like, yeah, maybe that'll help.
I don't have to use that at all, but
No, you can. Okay, you can use whatever, bro. You're gonna have fun editing this. This is long.
yeah, I gave myself 4 days.
2.5 hours. We almost did a 3-hour-long podcast. Watch out, Joe Rogan. Come for your job,
I'm
bro.
telling you, man.
Yeah, right.
Nah, that dude's too much. I just hope, I don't know. I just hope people get the message. Hopefully it's enjoyable. And of course, we will get better at this. Like I said, with my videos, y'all saw the quality that I put out like over a year and a half ago. It was pretty rough, but it's only gotten better. It's gotten to this point. And so let's keep growing. That's it. You know, it's kind of the message of growing, you know, learning.
Sure,
all
yeah,
that stuff.
man.
Hey, thank y'all so much for sticking through this podcast. Thank you for listening and watching. I really appreciate your support. It means the world to me. Of course, thank you, Kobe, so much for doing this with me, helping me out. It's been a wild ride, way harder than I thought it was going to be. But as much as I wanted to give it up, I decided to stick it through. We're going to see what we can make out of this. So please support it. Please like, please comment, please share, all the above, which I normally do. Of course, my other videos, I'll have one out in the next day or so. So be on the lookout. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna just have some fun. Give me some productive criticism. Give me feedback. Y'all know y'all won't hurt my feelings, so let it rip. I just want to get better. So anything you can do to help, I appreciate. Other than that, thanks again. If there's any stories you want to hear more of, or you want more information about, let us know. Send us an email at glitchinreality@yahoo.com. Kobe's Instagram, Facebook, his information will be in the description down below. Please reach out to him if you want. I don't mind at all. We're going to be sharing this information and knowledge together. We'll have other people on eventually. So yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you once again. And yeah, we'll see y'all next time. All right, y'all. Peace.
Goodbye.